Hello, everybody. Our topic today is coaching opportunities for the future. I am Catherine Tanneau. I am the chair of the International Coaching Federation Professional Coaches Board, and I'm with Linda McLoughlin, the vice chair of the Professional Coaches Board. Both of us are actually working and living cross-culturally, and we have an extended experience in coaching with multinationals and government entities around the world. We are also both published authors and speakers, and also approved coaching training providers. We are also convinced that coaching is offering many opportunities for the future. Let's go together in our learning objectives for today. First of all, we will look how to be aware of the importance of changing your way of looking at your ecosystem. The second one is considering a methodology to transform challenges into opportunities. Then we will explore together the feasibility with some possible roads to see how to make this opportunity flourish. And last but not least, we will try with you to become prepared to transmit this opportunity mindset to your coaches and communities in your local markets. Let's start with some inspirations. How to change the way of looking at your environment. How are you looking at your environment, actually, at your coaching market? Usually, we are seeing obstacles and threats very easily, and sometimes less possibilities and opportunities. If we look together at the global environment, actually, we are seeing many challenges. Well, we are living in uncertainty, for sure, under stress, either on workers, on people, their family, and also organizations and their leaders. We are all fearing a possible economic crisis following the pandemic. We are also seeing new ways of working, hybrid ones. Everyone is questioning the purpose of work and sometimes also the purpose of life. And we are at the door of a digital revolution. Many challenges also on our coaching market. We are all seeing many untrained individuals who call themselves coaches, a big confusion about coaching in the marketplace. And again, the fear of a crisis that could affect coaching expenditures. Who knows what will happen with artificial intelligence? Will this replace human beings? No one knows. So many challenges. How these challenges can be also opportunity. Let's see how to turn these challenges into opportunities. One of our source of inspiration is a man, a conductor, Benjamin Zander, who has written a book called The Art of Possibility, where he explained how finding a possibility around us is more a mindset and a practice than anything else. So let's follow him to see what are the root of his idea. First of all, I like this quote: "The conductor of an orchestra doesn't make a sound. It depends for his power on his ability to make other people powerful." Did this remind you something? Actually, this is the essence of coaching, the ability to make other people powerful. And also, it is very aligned with our ICF mission and vision. The vision, coaching as an integral part of a thriving society, and the mission, empowering the world through coaching. So now, how do we develop an opportunity mindset? Let's follow Benjamin Zander in this other quote. If you choose to look at your life in a new way, then suddenly your problems fade away. One of the best ways to do this is to focus on the possibilities surrounding any situation and maybe adopt a new, fresh look. Let's look at the different challenges we have seen and how we can transform this in question. Uncertainty and stress. What will employees expect as ways of working tomorrow? The talent war. What changes will this drive in the workplace? The digital revolution. Will humans be replaced, or will they have a very special role, even maybe a more important one? and how to create conditions to have a better, sustainable work environment. Let's see how these challenges are really very important needs. The first one is the talent retention, how to create developmental environment in the organizations. The second is the shift from me to we, shared goal and collaboration. The third one is purposeful environment and diversity, inclusion, equity, and social justice. Also new work habits with more compassionate and purposeful leadership. How to bring health and wellness at work. And finally, how we create sustainability. And someone said, the more machine, the more human beings. So let's now drive this from needs to true opportunities. We have identified 6 main opportunities that can emerge for coaching from these needs. The first one is coaching as a booster. The second one is coaching culture, expanding in organization. The third one is collective coaching to increase team effectiveness and creativity. The fourth is coaching to support sustainable change. 5 and 6 is around coaching for the greater good and bigger diversity and inclusion. Linda will go through this in a while. So how you chapters can leverage these opportunities. Let's reflect together. First of all, is it worth it? Is there value in these opportunities? How is this likely to happen or not? Is it likely to happen in your market? Is it feasible? And finally, how to make it happen? I will hand over to Linda for the next part of our journey together.
Well, hello everyone. Thanks, Catherine, and good to meet you online. The opportunities that Catherine has just outlined, some of them aren't altogether new, they're already happening. And I guess the challenge at the chapter level is, how do you amplify these opportunities? How do you make sure that there is full awareness in your local and regional market about how coaching can solve some of the biggest problems that organizations are facing today? Let's just pause for a moment and look at what are some of the biggest learning and development trends happening. Let's quantify what Catherine has just spoken about. We know we're part of a big industry, $2.85 billion estimated, which is a sizable profession and industry. Yet when you look at the total spend on learning and development currently, you see that there's plenty of room for coaching to grow as one of the L&D methods. So we're not near saturation by any means. And I think that really provides huge opportunities for chapters to get that coaching message out there. At the same time, we're aware that many workers and organizations are highly aware of the need to reskill. The agility required post-pandemic is enormous, and that requires people rethinking how they do the job, what job they do. And again, this is a tremendous opportunity for coaches and coaching. It's one of our skill sets to help people transform, to help people feel comfortable with change. Also, what we know is that world-class companies are more likely to invest in L&D now more than ever. And again, we know that companies with coaching cultures are indeed high-performing organizations, and organizations that have that ability to embrace and adapt to change. The other aspect to be very aware of is the new generations in the workforce, millennials who are quite settled now. And, you know, they have high expectations around the amount of growth that organizations offer them. And equally, the new Gen Zs who will be appearing in the workforce shortly, again, have shown that they enjoy and embrace and inspect coaching. So all around, coaching fits with the different generations in the workplace and presents enormous opportunities. So just going back to Catherine's slide earlier, the 6 opportunities, if you like, that are presented, it is something that you as a chapter leader can consider in terms of your programming. When you are talking to other coaches, when you are talking to members, when you are talking to organizations in your locality, are you telling them the good news story about how coaching can address the real issues workplaces are facing today? So can you tell the story about how coaching can enhance leadership capacity? We know we're seeing a different paradigm in leadership now. The talk is very much around compassionate leadership, and coaches can help create that new paradigm with the organizations and executives they work with. Building a coaching culture, we've already referenced that. And again, what we're seeing is that organizations with very multicultural workforces and with younger workforces are beginning to see that investment in a coaching culture is creating more engagement and better performance for those organizations. Again, this is a great narrative for you to share with your audiences at the chapter level. Team and systemic coaching, it's on the rise. It's the #2 trend in coaching right now. And it really speaks to scalability because many of the organizations want to be able to offer coaching not just to their seniors, but right down throughout the organization. And group coaching, team coaching, and systemic coaching talks to that. It allows for scalability. And one of the exciting things, as we know, the ICF has just published the team competencies, core competencies, and it is likely that we will also be offering a micro-credential in team and systemic coaching in the near future, later in 2022. Today's organizations are all about change. The pandemic and artificial intelligence is just driving huge disruption across so many industries. And again, I think the message to our markets in coaching is just how coaching is an effective modality to support change management. We know that coaching one-to-one and team coaching is more effective than spending, for instance, on e-learning and other types of training during change. And also, you know, that great vision that ICF has, that ambitious vision to make coaching part of a thriving society. I think that's a very exciting message. Many of the younger generations, many of our coaches are very excited about bringing DEIJ, for instance, into the open, shining a light on how diversity and inclusion can enhance our world today. And coaching at its core is very much about respecting the human condition, and our core competencies of coaching mindset and empathy particularly support that. And also, I think there is an opportunity to tell the story about how coaching can work in saving our planet. How can we work with leaders to enhance their corporate social responsibility and responses to these major world issues? So what can you do at chapter level? Let's get down to that now. So part of it is, you know, believing, seeing, spotting these opportunities and taking every opportunity to talk about them to the membership, talk to them with your stakeholders in your locality, in your region, make sure the message gets out there. So one of the ways that we can support you in influencing your market and shaping your market, because as I say, coaching is nowhere near saturation point. We just need more people to understand the power of coaching. So what we can offer is extensive ICF research and resources. And just so that you know, ICF is one of the foremost researchers in terms of the state of the profession. Tap into that, share that. Our statistics are hugely powerful, particularly when you're working with corporate partners at local level. Figures talk. Also know that the PC directors, our board of directors, Catherine and I sit on a board with 7 fellow directors from right around the world. And we have a wonderful staff based in our headquarters in Lexington, but also regionally. Reach out to us. We are available to attend chapter events, to meet with your chapter board, to share these resources, and to help you promote the word. We really want to be in partnership with you. So do reach out for outreach opportunities with us. We also encourage you to network with other chapters. Don't try to go it alone all of the time. There can be tremendous synergies, either with other chapters geographically close to you, but interestingly too, partnering with a chapter from another part of the world can even add more richness to these messages and to show the global nature of coaching. And also, don't forget that your own board is coming from significant professional experience and will have wonderful networks for you to tap into. So here are just some of the ICF resources and research that you can draw on in terms of your messaging in influencing the markets. There's lots of good news stories that you can build on at the local level. For instance, those of you based in Europe, it would be very interesting to know that we have just signed an EU charter on coaching and coaching ethics that has been lodged with the EU and has been signed by up to 10 other coaching bodies involved in our profession. And I think this helps to kind of provide a regulatory base to our work. Also, I think our digital badges that were brought out last year in terms of our credential holders and for members to show our bona fides is an amazing way of differentiating ICF coaches from others in the market. As Catherine already said earlier, that one of the fears is that untrained individuals may be giving the wrong impression. So the digital badging is a great news story to get out there, along with all the other resources mentioned on this slide. Now, another thing really is how you plan your own outreach and how you develop partnerships in terms of sharing the messages. How you engage with your own ecosystem is hugely important. And what we find is that the chapters who have a very strategic approach to this and a very active approach to this seem to do well. So look into your local community. What needs are your local community facing? How can coaching help with them? Just recently, I saw ICF Ireland did a wonderful conference on homelessness and social progress with a major homeless charity in Ireland. It was hugely attended and raised a lot of needed funds for that charity. But again, it was how coaching and ICF chapters can think bigger. Great example. Think about who are the key employers and businesses in your area? How can you partner with them? Particularly, how can you use International Coaching Week, which really shines a light for a week-long series of events on coaching? How can you offer them pro bono? How can you partner on initiatives on specific issues, maybe around change, maybe around teams, maybe around collaboration that we've just mentioned. Also talk about where are your local thought leaders? What thought leaders can you tap into to bring to your chapter events and conferences? Another great way to get the story of coaching out there is to partner with business schools. And I know ICF Kentucky, for instance, have a long-standing arrangement with the business school there. They do pro bono coaching with the alums, and this allows younger people experience coaching. And then, of course, once they get into the workforce and work their way up the ladder and become decision makers, coaching is something that's going to be on their radar. And interestingly too, I think developing networks with your local media channels, really, really important. How do you publicize your events? How do you publicize your speakers? What kind of stories, maybe using those 6 opportunities, do you create for your local press, for instance, TV or radio networks, because they're all looking for content in this world. So again, in terms of your programming, there are opportunities now. Once you see these opportunities, and we know that the highest percentage of ICF coaches and coaches worldwide are what we call in the business coaching niche. So that includes everything from leadership to executives to team coaching. And it is perhaps the niche that is going to spin the most dollars. It gets the most spend annually. So it is a hot topic. I think the new world of work that Catherine has outlined, the change stories, the diversity and inclusion agendas, the intergenerational, the cross-cultural aspects that we're now seeing are all hot topics. Also tap into what might be a local issue and program around that in order to engage your community. I mentioned homelessness earlier, a big topic in Ireland. What is it in your local area that might get people engaged with you and engaged with coaching? Do tap into all the ICF member information and updates. There's really rich information coming out to you on a monthly basis that you can share. Obviously, you probably share that with your chapter members, but there may be ways that you can share that more widely as well. I think it's about balancing professional development with business development too in your programming. A lot of new members look to their chapter to understand how to get their credentials, how to renew, all of that great stuff. And I think as chapters, we want to do that. And I should mention both Catherine and I, before becoming global board directors, both served on local chapters. So we know what you're all about. And I also think we need to balance that need for professional information development with the idea of business development, because members are looking for opportunities. They're looking for a sustainable job from coaching. How do we create those networks and relationships across our communities so that we create more work? We don't have to provide it for people directly, but we want people talking about coaching, being aware of coaching, recognizing coaching. And I think that that excites members as well. And I think also peer learning is really, really important. Many of our chapter members are doing amazing work out there. How can we highlight some of these case studies? I think often when we do programming, we might look to, the global figures, the thought leaders, and I think definitely there's a market for that, but also to use the chapter programming to highlight and put out there about your local cases, because that's going to get a lot of traction in the media, and that will get the story of coaching out there even more. Okay, I love that baby there and that quote from Benjamin Zander, the orchestral conductor. So focus on the possibilities surrounding any situation. And I think in a funny way, the pandemic, while at many levels has been a negative, it has, many people, there's been loss. However, when we look into it even more deeply, we do see opportunities for adaptation, for change, for growth, particularly for our profession. And in some ways, I really believe it's time for coaching now. Just to finish up, to say that we include a lot of rich resources in the appendices of our PowerPoint, which will be shared with you. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to partnering with you further.
Thank you all. Bye.